How to improve communication as a leader. Got a lot of experience in this space. We're going to go through 5 specific steps on how you achieve that.
When we can live life on our terms, on a holistic level, taking into account not just our business lives, but also our health, all of our relationships, from friends, family, partners, the world changes.
All right, so if you're figuring out how is it I can improve communication, I'm the leader, I'm the guy driving, the gal driving the show, how do we improve that? First off, good for you for even looking this up, congratulations. I've worked with leadership teams over the last 30 years, individuals, organizations across the world, and communication is one of those cornerstones that the better that is, well, the stronger the communication is, the faster the team can move. And the reality is quality communication is usually a byproduct of other pieces. So the first piece, as a senior leader, one of the main things to do is once you have your common vision that you've ideally created from a collaborative effort with your leadership team, is to over-communicate it. The purpose of this is making sure that everybody in the organization is crystal clear on where we're going. That in and of itself has immense value in communication. Because a lot of times where the communication gaps or steps or missteps or when people are using different, I thought we were going here, we're going there, and people are all over the place. But when everybody's crystal clear on where we're going, it's going to really help. Now, another piece with this is making sure that you're using a common language. And common language actually develops out of over-communicating it, making sure that everybody understands what it means by the words you're using. I realize you're likely all using English because you're watching this in English, but I have worked with teams. I helped restructure a large university foundation that had 6 locations at different campuses. And each location used a different word for donors. And as a result, they spent a tremendous amount of time going, well, what do you mean by a gift or a donor or a pledge, or making sure that everybody was on that common language. This is where investing that time and energy to be simple and clear with a common vision, but also a common language. All right, the second thing is make sure that you're streamlining the accountability for and processes for accountability. Making sure that you have a clear structure so that people understand who's accountable for what, that you have clear processes so that people know what's working and what isn't, and then a way of tracking that. Now, the purpose of this when it comes to communication is it's when we have multiple people, again, confused on who's accountable for what. If it's not clear, well, then we're all over the place. If it's also not clear, then maybe somebody can sandbag and they're not doing as strong as they could be. So helping people to be really clear on what they're accountable for is actually going to improve and accelerate your communications. All right, the next piece is making sure that you've got meetings, and they're great meetings. But here's the thing. Most organizations, I hate meetings because most meetings suck because they're doom loops of discussion. So if you're looking for great communication, you want to make sure to improve it. First off, I would go through and review all the meetings that you and your leadership team has and define what is the intention of these meetings. More often than not, we have meetings that are band-aids because something blew up years ago and we're still doing the same damn thing. What works for a great meeting is communication, accountability, and problem solving. If you can do those 3 things, you'll crush it. So the purpose of figuring out what a great meeting is when communication, accountability, and problem solving is make sure that you review the meeting and say, why are we having the meeting? What is the intention of this? What does great look like? And it is important that quality meetings have an agenda. They start on time, they end on time. You have clear process for holding people accountable. We're clear on what the accountability piece is, and then different tools for problem solving. But what is the streamlined, efficient way of driving that? I like to steal from Mr. Toyota from Toyota Motors, understanding that when you're problem solving, 90% of the time, the issue that's being brought up is not an issue, it's a symptom of something else. Being curious and drilling down to really finding out what's the root cause can help solve that issue. So the first step, over communicating your vision. Second, streamlining your clear accountabilities and processes, making sure we have a way of tracking it. Third, only run the meetings you have to be running, but make sure they're great meetings. When you do that, people will be more present, they'll get more energy, they'll get more value out of it. The fourth thing, if you really want to improve communication as a leader, model the behavior you're looking for. If you get pissed that your team members aren't listening to you, I'm going to suggest you first look in the mirror. What is the behavior you're modeling when you're working with them? When you have somebody who's talking to you, do you close your computer? Do you not have your phone? Do you look into their eyes as if you're looking into their soul? And you're really curious and you're listening to hear them, not listening to problem solve, not listening to get something back. The more you can model the behavior of communication, the more you can hold yourself accountable in modeling that behavior, and in every step of the communication, the easier it is for those behaviors to become adopted by the rest of your team. The next step is always, always, always be building trust. What truly, truly is going to drive healthy communication is when you have a great team of the right people in the right seats. We talk about that in other videos on this. But you're building trust to a degree that everybody feels confident that they can call each other out, even you as a senior leader, and say, look, miss, I don't agree with you, but this is why. But it's not for their ego or their vertical or their fiefdom, but it's for the betterment of the company. When that happens and people are listening to be curious, they want to be, and truly to hear, then it actually is going to improve. And sometimes those can be very heated and tense, and I love that. A healthy conflict in an organization is critical for great communication. So if you are that senior leader and you're looking to figure out how can I improve the communication as that leader, well, first, unify and over-communicate a simplified vision where we're going. Second, ensure streamlined processes around accountabilities, processes, and metrics to track. Third, make sure you're only running the meetings you need and make sure they're great meetings. Communication, accountability, problem solving. Model the behaviors you're looking to achieve. And lastly, always be building trust. So ideally you found some value. If you did, right on. You're welcome to reach out to us at lifeon-yourterms.com. Subscribe to the channel, check us out. Love to hear from you. Keep smiling.